many times anxiety, unfounded anxiety, has been the source of crisis in homes and families.
Absolutely.
And so, at any rate, I thought you dealt so well with the topic.
Hey, so yesterday I was able to meet with Charles Carrin, and he had really been impacted by the booklet, Overcoming Anxiety. And I asked him, I said, would you like to come and do a podcast with me? And he said, of course I would. So I recorded it yesterday, and I was real excited about it. It's a really cool interview. And the podcast, I'm hoping that the podcast is about to change a bit. I'm wondering if the video format would not be a little more accessible and interesting, and so that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to see if we can maybe bring a little more video into the podcast. This is all new, so there may be some time of adjustment, but I hope that it's going to be something that's going to be enjoyable for you to watch, and that it's really going to bless you. I hope you enjoyed this interview with Charles Carrin and I. He's a beautiful man and has blessed me richly through some transitions that we're going through as a ministry. And I've really appreciated his input and his connection and his encouragement, and he's kind of stepped in a fathering role with me, to love on me and to really bless me, really. The Lord has used him and his lavish spirit to bless me, to guide me, and to give me some direction in the coming days. So I hope you enjoy this. I have no idea where we're going with the podcast and how this is going to evolve, but I hope you'll stay tuned, and I hope you'll enjoy, and I bless you and I appreciate you. So here's the interview with Charles Carrin and I. Well, today we're coming to you with Charles Carrin, and we've been talking about my book, booklet, Overcoming Anxiety. And we've been doing just, a number of podcasts just talking about it and the impact of it. And so I gave a copy of it to Charles, and Charles was deeply impacted by it as well.
Yes.
And he said that it just really, he wished he had it when he was going through some anxious times in his life. So I wanted to do a podcast with him and talk about it. And I just wanted to go over some stuff that's going on even with me, and just some anxious times that I'm going through. So Charles, when you read this, what did you really get out of it?
All right, let me tell you, first of all, I wished I had this in my early ministry. I was ordained in 1949, so I'm really not a newcomer to the ministry. But I will tell you this little book on anxiety was extremely analytical for me. I've dealt with anxious people since I was ordained in 1949, and I've dealt with anxiety in people for all the decades since. Tragically so, because many times anxiety, unfounded anxiety, has been the source of crisis in homes and families.
Absolutely.
And so at any rate, I thought you dealt so well with the topic, and I was very impressed with the cover, which I think you did.
I painted it. I did. Right. I prayed for it and painted it.
Amen. Well, this dear girl, whatever her name, whoever she is, shows she's suffering from authentic anxiety.
She is very anxious. Absolutely anxious.
But going back to my early years, I think anxiety was the undercurrent for an enormous amount of other bigger problems.
Yeah.
That anxiety was the spring, the boiling spring that led into other areas of conflict, especially in young homes.
Yeah.
A young bride is perhaps entertaining her mother-in-law for the first time, and she becomes very nervous and keyed up about how well she's going to impress the mother, and if she's going to do it favorably.
Right.
And a simple beginning like that oftentimes lays the foundation in a home for problems that come along and are still there years later.
Right.
It works that way.
It totally does.
And you, in your book here, you've dealt with the source of anxiety in a very analytical way, which in my opinion was urgently needed. Because if we do not understand the source, the origin of anxiety, we do not know how to combat it. You have to attack it at the source, at the root. You cannot just placate it, with synthetic corrections. You can't do that.
No, that's right. That's right.